Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, July 7th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Lot to discuss again. Google seems to be rolling out some big Google algorithm update this morning. Nothing's confirmed as of yet. We're all waiting for the confirmed update. Twitter blocked Google by accident, causing a lot of issues. ChatGPT disabled Bing search features in their app and their features, and a lot more SEO, PPC, and Google Analytics news, so definitely stay tuned. Of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Bruce Clay. Thank you, Bruce, so much for sponsoring. Bruce Clay is one of the founding fathers of the SEO space, doing search marketing since 1996. Bruce Clay is big into SEO training, so check them out at seotraining.com. And to learn more about Bruce Clay and their services, check them out at bruceclay.com. Thank you so much for Bruce, for all you do, and for supporting this video and other. All right, so first up, I reported this morning, right hot off the press. Seems like there's some major volatility, some fluctuations going on with Google Search Rankings algorithm update. It's been going on for the past probably 2 months now, where it's very, very heated. But this morning, things seem to kind of explode. Some tools are literally off the charts. Some tools are really high. SEMrush is really, really high, almost at 8. SERP metrics, Rank Ranger will be updating a little bit later today. I'm sure they'll be off the charts as well. Advanced Rank Rankings is literally a 10 out of 10. AccuRanker, Mozcast is hot as it's ever been in the past several months. Cognitive SEO, Algorithm, and SERPstat, they're all really off the charts, and the chatter is starting to explode as of this morning, starting yesterday, as well as through today. So I would say this update probably started Thursday, July 6th, and into big time this morning, July 7th. So if you are seeing ranking volatility, you are not alone. Talking about Google and rankings, Google was showing about 50% or less Twitter URLs in the Google search results after Twitter made a change to its policy where it actually would not show content to unregistered signed out users. What Twitter did was basically block and do these weird redirects, blocking people who are not signed into Twitter to actually see actual Twitter content on those URLs. What happened was it also tend to block Google because Google's not signed in as well. So we saw the site commands to have significant drops. SEMrush and all these tracking tools showed a huge visibility decline in the Twitter.com results in Google search. And what happened was a few days later, Twitter went ahead and unblocked that stuff where it actually showed a modal when above the actual content. So it actually showed the content to signed out users, unregistered users, and it also showed the content to Google, but with a modal overlaying over the search result, over the actual content of the results of the Twitter results, which led to Google starting to index that content again, and the Twitter results returning back into Google search and so forth. It didn't affect the actual carousel, the Twitter carousel, because Google had access to the fire hose, but it affected the long-term ranking and indexation, if that's a word, of Twitter.com in Google search. Now things seem to be turning back to normal, so all good there. Although Twitter has all these rate limits, which probably is affecting Google on some level, but maybe they're allowing Google through. Bing Chat said they improved efficiency and reduced latency by about 25% last week. We'll see what updates they have today again, but they're constantly making improvements there. Also, ChatGPT from OpenAI shut down the Browse with Bing feature after complaints that this feature was actually accessing paywalled content without the website's intent or allowance. So they shut that down for now. It's not clear when they're going to bring it back, but they do intend to bring it back at some point. We'll see what happens there. Also, Mikkel, from the CEO of Bing Search at Microsoft, went ahead and announced that they're adding a feature to use Bing Chat without searching the web. There's going to be like a no search prompt that you can use to say, don't search the web for this. This comes in handy when you're doing math questions or other things around just factual stuff that maybe doesn't need to search the web or maybe has a historical database of that information. Yesterday afternoon, Google went ahead and announced that they're coming out with some type of complementary idea around Robots.txt file. So Robots.txt protocol has been around for 30 or so years. And yesterday, Google announced that, and let me quote, "We believe it's time for the web and AI communities to explore additional machine-readable means for web publisher choice and controls for emerging AI research use cases. Today, we're kicking off a public discussion inviting members of the web and AI communities to weigh in on approaches to complementary protocols. We like to broader range of voices across the web, yada, yada, and you can join this by clicking on a link to sign up." looks like Google's coming out with some new thing around AI content for generative AI because they want to go ahead and crawl the web and see that information. And Gary from Google went ahead and wrote on LinkedIn, it's time, it's nearly 30 years ago Robots.txt was born and it served the internet well all this time. With emerging AI technology, we need to complement it with new instructions, rules that were designed for AI applications specifically. So we'll see what's going on with that, but it looks like over the next several months, nothing's happening today, but over the next several months, it looks like Google will be coming out with some new Robots.txt protocols around that. We'll see what happens there. Talking about AI, the new Google Search Generative experience does seem to show local store inventory directly in the search generative answers, the AI generated answers. That's pretty cool. That was spotted by Lily Ray and her colleague Jenna Carbon. So nice find over there. Thank you for spotting that. I think it's not new per se, but I didn't cover it before. Google seems to be testing showing author names, author bios or names directly in the top stories carousel. This is spotted by Kamlesh. So nice find there. Good to see. I don't see it myself, but hopefully it does roll out. I posted the big Google Webmaster report for July 2023. It's a great place to catch up if you missed the past month or you want to just make sure you didn't miss anything over the past month. The big things are obviously the Google ranking updates that were not confirmed, quality updates for search generative experience, perspective filters, dedicated perspective section, spam report updates, pinging for sitemaps are going away, new INP report for Google Search Console, and Core Web Vitals, and a bunch of other things. So definitely check that out. There's a lot of cool stuff over the past month. Google's John Mueller said there's no ranking factor that compensates for missing relevancy. And a lot of people are saying, I'm obsessing about this ranking factor, INP, Core Web Vitals, whatever it might be. And he basically said, when it comes to relevance, there's no ranking factor that compensates for missing relevancy or missing user intent. He explains, it is easy to forget that a site just doesn't just rank on its own. It ranks for what it's relevant for, and this is talking about semantic HTML, but other things as well, so definitely take a look at that. Google's John Mueller said it doesn't matter if you use blog/blog folders or subfolders for your content. Google doesn't care, and he basically went off on a little SEO rant saying, let me quote him, Google doesn't care, do what you want. Sometimes having separate makes it easy for tracking, obviously separate for blog. Sometimes SEOs tell you myths about getting better rankings one way or another. They are wrong, he said. And I'm quoting, sometimes they tell you not to listen to anyone from Google. Sometimes they're right, but not this time. So it's just interesting to see Google's John Mueller go off on a rant on that. Pretty interesting. Otherwise, I wouldn't have covered it, but it was a really good rant by John. It seems now, according to Ben Fisher, now if you want to go ahead and edit your local service ads hours, those local service edits will go ahead and apply to the Google business profile where it's relevant to just 24 hours later. So that's a pretty cool way of Google local service ads syncing more with Google business profiles. Google Merchant Center seems to be rolling out the automated discounts feature, which was in beta for a few years now, and it now seems to be rolling out of beta. This is spotted by Emmanuel from Feed Army, where basically you go ahead and set up some type of system to say, these are the ways I'm going to discount my items, which can then show up in Google Search and help you get more conversions. Google Ads Editor version 2.4 is out, which gave you additional multi-account overviews, Google Drive integration, and a lot more features, so definitely check a look at that. Google Ads is going to remove examples from its legal requirements policy page, where it actually has some examples now, but Google said they're going to remove it next month. What that means is you're not going to be able to say, oh, here's some examples that could apply, and I could use that to my site where I could go ahead and use this. Removing examples makes it harder for us to understand these policies, but at the same time, I think Google doesn't want to be held down by those very specific examples. Finally, Google Analytics UA3 is still collecting data, but Google says it's not going to happen for so long. Again, it was supposed to shut down last Saturday on obviously July 1st. Today is July 7th, and it's still collecting data for me, and I did a poll, and most people by far are saying, yes, it's collecting data for them as well. I assume it's going to shut down at some point. Google said there is some type of queue that has to happen, and it will shut down, but UA3 is still working for a bunch of people, and people are happy. And people don't want me to report about it because they don't want Google to remember that they have to remove that data. Me reporting about that is not going to make a difference if Google removes that data or not. Google will do whatever they want. And even thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, thanks to Bruce Clay for sponsoring. Everyone have a safe, healthy, and happy weekend. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll speak to you guys later. Bye-bye.